Hey y'all, good evening, good evening. Welcome. This is Let's Just Talk with Kim. Of course, I'm Kim, and we have a fabulous show tonight. I am just waiting for our very special guest. So let me just start with what the show will be about this evening, and hopefully he will pop in. It is let's talk about a renewed life and a better beginning after being behind bars. I wanted to do this show because we know as African American men, we are the largest number of imprisonment people. And sometimes we get stuck in a place of not being able to overcome the struggle of just making that turnaround. Now, sometimes it could be where you are in prison due to different circumstances regarding small petty crimes, as they call, or misdemeanors that sometimes would lead a person in behind bars. And that's not just for Black men, but it's also Black women that find themselves being wrongly convicted or excessively convicted of a crime. I know not too long ago, the young adult woman who was driving intoxicated, which of course is a crime. You should not be driving under any type of influence. So they pulled her over, and for some reason, they ended up letting her go. And she did post about it, and then she went on to drive. And unfortunately, the same um, officers, think it was state troopers that pulled her over initially, she ended up striking and killing. And that is so unfortunate all around. And what I'm noticing today is before I even go further, I do see my special guest. So I'm going to bring him in real quickly. Come on, come on.
Greetings,
Add
greetings,
him to the
everyone.
stream. Hey, Sharita Boo, I see you, girl. I'm having problems adding him. Let's try it one more time. There he is. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. Now just say something, make sure I can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I just wanted to make sure that your audio as well as your um, video is streaming very good, and I can see you, hear you. And I was just giving a little opener while we were waiting for your special arrival about what the topic was, and I just want to review it. Excuse me, y'all. I have long COVID long haulers, which comes with some memory issues, but so I always have to have my trusty phone for my notes. And the topic for this evening is let's talk about a renewed life after being behind bars. And our special guest is Abdul-Hakim. Uh,
Muhammad.
thank you. That's what I'm talking about right there, sir. Is my little brain fog moments. And I'm looking at it and I cannot pronounce the word. But praise the Lord, things will get better. So he is definitely a strong activist. He has a past that I would like him to share with you. He's even a writer, author of Pen to Pen, and he is also the president of the Pen Files, which he can give a little more description in regards to. But I'm very excited to have you here. You're actually my best friends, my day one best friend. We've known each other since first grade. Malika, this is her handsome husband who is here with us today. So, Abdul, if you could share a little bit about background on how you came about writing your book and also the pen files.
First, thank you for inviting me. Uh, I'm pleased to be here. I'm grateful. it's uh it's something. It's a story that's long overdue. It's a story.
Mhm.
It's a story that we all have. Again, first I have to give praise to the Almighty up above, because He's the one that allowed me to make things happen. He's the one that allowed me to make, my story become a reality. Without
Mhm.
God Almighty, I don't have a story. Because He's the one that to coach me in telling this story. And
Yes.
I had to get permission from God Almighty, because if He don't give you permission, then you can't force nothing. You can't.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my story it's been told, and I want everybody to tell. I want people to tell their stories. I want stories to be told all over America, uh, connecting back to the African American communities and the things that we go through and the things that we suffer on a daily basis that many people really, really don't understand. Why? Because they're not black, and they don't understand
Mhm.
that culture. They don't understand the African American community and what's going on, inside of our communities. But what they do understand is gun violence is prevalent in our communities. I mean,
Right.
it's talked about, but it's not talked about. It's talked about, but it's not talked about. How a man could walk into a place and he could kill as many as 10 to 20 people, and they take this kid to Burger King. They put a bulletproof vest on him, and then they take this man into custody. Okay, whereas though African American, he could be shot 60 times, 60 times for just being, said that he had a gun. 60
Right.
shots,
Right.
120 casings on the ground. Okay. 60 of them went inside of one man because he was allegedly believed to do this or allegedly believed to do that. So the racial profiling is a reality, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Come start incarceration. Uh, that's another one. That's a whole nother ticket. I don't know how much time you have, but one thing
We have an hour, so you could definitely share.
but I do know one thing. I was never going to be long enough because I keep looking at my book and it's not enough pages in the book to tell the stories that we have to tell. This is a moment, and it's time for our stories to be told. Our stories need to be told, and regardless whether they want to listen or whether they don't want to listen. I mean, we need, and then people keep on talking about we need to sit at the table. Why do I want to sit at their table?
Mhm.
I have
Mhm.
my own table.
Right.
We create our own tables. We create our environment. Ain't nobody helping us inside this environment that we live in. Ain't nobody helping us. Ain't nobody throwing no long ropes out. And then
Mhm.
you see people get funding, right? Those people get funding. What do? They spend up all the money, and they don't give it back to the communities. You don't see that
Right.
inside the communities. I mean, so it's a joke. It's a joke. I've been here since 1960 something. 1960 something. The ghetto still exists.
Yeah.
The ghetto still exists. It's still a black folk. It's still full of black folks. Black folks ain't going nowhere. They make
Right.
they make up the urban environment.
So tell us about your book and why you wrote your book, Pen to Pen.
The book in itself, in a nutshell, from pen to pen. Why? Because it starts off from pen. And
Mhm.
when we talk about this word pen, what am I talking about? I'm talking about SCI. I'm talking about state correctional institutions. I'm talking about correctional facilities, state as well as federal. The word pen comes from penitentiary,
Mhm.
and penitentiary in itself comes from penitence. The word penitentiary is like describing an individual who is repenting to God and making amends for the wrongs that he committed.
Mhm.
They call these places penitentiaries. And this is where I've lived for quite some time. This is where I've resided for quite some time. And while residing in that place, I have to say, the beginning of my book title, From Pen. This is where I come from. Because in order to get there, you gotta commit some type of crime or atrocity, which they deem unlawful, in which they can incarcerate you. So the
Mhm.
book is entitled From Pen because that's where I spent some time at,
Mhm.
based on based on me spending a lot of time in the streets, based on me being a, a graduate, uh, a scholar in street life, and I say that with like sarcasm.
Right. Right.
It's guys out there, man, that know the streets back and forth so much so that you can't tell them nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I was that person. So
Right.
to say call yourself a scholar of the streets and you still in it, it's like a joke. It's like a joke. I mean, I graduated from the streets because I was forced out of the streets. From the streets, I tasted incarceration. I tasted incarceration because it was either incarceration or death.
Mm.
God had mercy on me. He gave me a second shot. Gave me more than a second shot. He gave me a lot of shots. He gave me
Right.
multiple opportunities to get it together, and I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't get it together. So this one time, I'm incarcerated. I'm at this place called SCI Smithfield. I'm way up in the mountains. Every time it's time to make a phone call, it's a collect call. So if you don't have collect call at home, then you're not really going to be able to get in contact
Right.
with your loved one. So I spent a lot of time there, and I accumulated a lot of things, such as education.
Mm-hmm.
Education became my ticket. And I really, really wasn't interested in education. However, I wanted to please the parole board. The name of the game is when you get in is to get out.
Get out.
When
Right.
you get in, you want to get out. So I played around with education, not realizing, again, this scholarship, right? All you trying to do is play the system. It's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Be real with yourself. I tell everyone, be real with yourself. Stop trying to play the system. The system gonna play you.
Right.
I'm still trying to play the system. I'm still trying to manipulate. I'm still trying to do this and do that. I look up. I'm getting A's and B's in these classes. These are supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
college courses. I'm playing. I'm just trying to get out the cell. I'm just trying to spend some time, off the block,
Right.
on the block. But I'm getting A's and B's. I look up one time, I got straight A's in a semester. And we
And
all know.
not to cut you off, but I wanted to key in on that of where you came from and where you were and how you then started basically forced to get into education and take it serious because you wanted, like you said, you wanted to get out of the block. You wanted to get away from it. And then your intelligence that you've always had kicked in, and then you started get like it. So to me, that shows me from the beginning you had what it took, you just wasn't applying yourself.
That's mom. You're mom. You're my mother. You're my mother. Because that's what she kept telling me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in denial. I was in denial. I come from West Philly, guys. I come from the streets of West Philadelphia, 46th Street, 46th Street. That's my town. Okay. Mom was like George and Weezy. We moving on up, right? Mom had the good job, right? And
Mm-hmm.
mom moved us uptown. Mom moved us uptown, moved me to East Oak Lane, okay? Fern Rock, Broad Alley, huh? White folks living on my block. Remember, I come from West Philly. I come from
Right.
46th Street. Blacks on every block, up and down. We moved on up to Oak Lane, and it's white folks on the block. And that's a whole nother story. Gentrification. That's a whole nother story. Redlining. That's a whole nother story. Blockbuster. That's a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I come from. And the drug gang was popping, as they would say. It was popping. We had a block. We had a block. P&A, Park Avenue Grange, Brown Bag, Brown Boys. That was our block. And we made Bugs Bunny money, as they would say. We was making a whole bunch of money. And my mom just kept asking me, why? Why you doing it? Why you doing it?
Right. Because she saw the potential.
I'm going to work, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
These people is giving me $6.75 an hour. I come home, these boys got Run DMC chains on. These guys got, I can't, they got Triple Goose bombers on, leather ones, okay? They got leather, but, I said, nope. These guys is clowns. Like Mom, these guys is clowns. They ain't even on my level. Mom, like, you don't have to live like that.
Right.
I mean, that ain't. So I got this big old scar on my face. They was calling me Scarface. I mean, because every time death showed up at the door, I was able to walk away from it,
Mm-hmm.
Getting shot multiple times, getting stabbed, getting this, all kind of things happening to me. But I wake up and I'm able to tell a story. So I said, God must really want me to talk about something. This ain't it though.
Right.
You
Right.
know? So we kept moving, and then the drug game led me to incarceration. From the drug game, I was in the streets. And the streets kept me active. You know, streets kept me active, so active that I had to be in the streets. Mom said, stay in the house. Okay. All right. Don't go back outside, boy. I go to that back room. I open that window up. Oop, I'm out of there. I'm gone.
Can you talk a little bit about that draw? Because you said something powerful to me is when we look at others and see what they have, we want what they have.
Hey,
And a lot not realizing
yeah.
the sacrifice that's going to come, because it's going to come eventually. And either you, like you say, either you're imprisoned or death. Is one or the other is going to get you. Time will tell which one will hit you. But we look at all these fancy things that other people have, especially when we talk about drug dealers and things of that nature. But then there is no quick, it's no quick method to it. Like so many of we lose so much of our youth wanting the quick money.
Instant gratification is what we call it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not real. It's a mirage.
Right.
In the field of social work, we call it delusion and grandeur. Delusional and grandeur. Delusional and grandeur. Because you're delusional.
Right.
Believing that you're going to get a fast, quick, $1,000, fast, quick, $10,000, fast, quick, and nothing. There's no repercussions behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Delusional.
Right.
Delusional. And I've been delusional for quite some time, thinking I'm going to get rich, the get rich scheme. Remember what we always say. If it's too good to be true, then what is it? It's too good to be true. It's not happening.
It's false. Mm-hmm.
I bit that apple so many times, because I was chasing. I seen them guys, right? And remember, my mom, she was a secretary at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Premier. We weren't on welfare. We didn't give food stamps. We wanted them, but they said she made too much money. Trust me, I wanted food stamps because I seen how the people with food stamps was living, right? They had better sneaks than me. They had better sneaks than me. I had the supermarket. I had the supermarket sneaks, okay? These guys had the sneaks from Giants on Lancaster Ave, right? The real Converse, the real Procreds, the real Jack Purcells. It took me a while to get those. My cousin Chuse, I love this guy to death, man. My cousin, he gave me my first pair of Converse. And I told my mom, like, Mom, this is what I want. But they was used. They was his.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want, So I had to hit the streets. I had to make me some money because I need to buy my own. I need to wear what these guys wear. Because remember, look, you see my complexion. Light skin niggas against the world. You know the rules. I mean, I'm light skin. Come on now. It's hard. It's hard in the hood being light skin. You know how it is. They call you Pretty Ricky. You the pretty guy. That's that. And, back then I had hair. So I used to wear this hair called the box. Kid and play. That box high joints. And it was curly because I had curly hair. And I have to be able to put it on. Mom, I need to dress nice. Look at me, Mom. The girls like me. I'm scared of girls, but they like me though, Mom. They like me, Mom. They like me, seriously, So yeah, it was a part of it. And I'm telling you kids today, don't sign up for it.
Right.
Don't sign up for it. It's a setup. The writing on the walls. I'm telling you. I spent a third of my life in the penitentiary.
Right.
A third of my life in the penitentiary. It took me forever to get it together. It took me forever to get it together. And he gave me opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Some guys don't get an opportunity.
Right. And it's crazy because I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but it's crazy because at the I think maybe around 15, my son actually had more than his age of friends who were killed. Running the streets and doing things like that.
I just went to a funeral today. I just buried one of my brothers today. Just buried another one of my brothers today. Rahimahullah ta'ala. May Allah have mercy on him. Make his great spaces. I mean. I'm used to it now. I don't want to be used to
Right.
that phone call. I'm a social worker, but it's part of what I do. It's part of my
Right.
life. I have to go and give out death notices. I have to go to inmates and tell them so and so died in your family. This is my job.
Mm.
That's not one of the best jobs to have.
Mhm. Mhm.
I gotta give a death notice to a person on a regular basis because every time we turn around, I'm giving out a death notice.
Right. Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time I turn around, I'm going to another funeral.
And it's almost every family, especially in the African American community,
Everybody's being hit.
everybody is being touched.
Every block is going
Yeah.
to get hit.
Yeah.
Somebody from your life is going to get touched.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's why this is a collective effort. This ain't a me effort. This ain't team me. This ain't about me. It's way bigger
Mhm.
than me. Like you see on the back of my page, it says from pen to pen. That second pen, we need to talk about that.
Right.
That second pen, it might include this guy right here. Something that a lot of us don't use. Something
Mhm.
a lot of us don't utilize. That's the ink pen. That second pen, from pen to pen, this is being illustrated. What does this do? What is the power of this? They say that this is more powerful than the sword, meaning it's
Mhm.
more powerful than violence. This can change the lives of communities. A stroke.
Correct.
But am I talking about that pen?
Not right now, but we will.
Am I really talking about the ink pen?
No, of course not. It's more than the ink pen.
Remember what I said? I was going to school, I was going to college,
Mhm.
and I was doing well. And it was surprising to me because there were certain elements that was inside me that they're just not going to go away. You can't make this stuff up. Something's just not going to go. It's in you. It's in your DNA. It's in
Right.
you. All right. I came out in the streets, and one of the first jobs I had was pulling a cart. I was pulling this cart. And I don't know if you know these kind of guys. These guys, they used to have a cart. They used to have a box full of all type of knickknacks. And they come in the store. They say, "Hey, how you doing, wholesale guy? Doing a real big promotion for my company."
Right,
You know,
right, right.
had the books. They might have the cameras. They might have the pens. All of that. And that was my job because nobody wanted to hire me because I was what? I was a convicted felon. All right.
Mhm.
I tell the guys all the time. If you're a convicted felon, don't mean you're at the end of the line. Don't mean you're at the end of the road. They're hiring convicted felons. If they're not hiring you, create your own job, create your own business, create your own brand.
Mhm.
Don't
Mhm.
take no for an answer. So that job there led me to another job. I became the manager of a super. I was manager of a spot called Sahabas restaurant. Man, I don't have no knowledge of no restaurant. I was in college though, accounting management. I know how to count. I'm a numbers guy. Math's my thing. I have skills. So the individuals who leave incarceration with skills, he's less likely to return back to jail. Write that down. I tell all of my people all the time, write that down. Each and every inmate that leaves a state or federal correctional facility with educational or vocational, and I always add this one to it, religious or spirituality, he's less likely to return back to prison. He's less likely to return back to prison. I took advantage of education, went to school for free, took advantage of it. No loans, no nothing. Free education.
Mm.
I remember that when I came home. So I'm sitting here, right, pulling a cart. It's snowing. I'm getting off on the bus. My cart falling off. All of my stuff inside the box, falling out the box. And I keep saying to myself, do I have to keep doing it? Humiliated. Humiliated. I'm being humiliated. I'm being humiliated. But
Mhm.
I got to keep it going. Why? Because I'm on parole. I'm on parole, right? And remember, parole is another setup. That's a whole nother talk. Probation and parole is a setup. It's a setup to send you right back. Okay? But I'm doing my thing. So I said, well, Let me take a shot. My man told me, we need you to come to the youth study center. I said, what am I gonna do there? He said, do what you do. Teach religion. I went to youth study center as a volunteer. Before you know it, I was upstate road working. They gave me a job upstate road working as a
And
chaplain.
that's a good thing, because what a lot of times people, I think, for especially our Black men, and some Black women, but more so with our Black men, they do not, they ignore or don't accept the power that's already within them, that they have already have something that's meaningful. And just like you said before, keep going. Just because one person tell you no, one job tell you no, or one thing that you're trying to accomplish may not make it, you can never stop pushing. And just like how you, when you sat down to really put your thoughts on paper and write your book, that was you pushing through every no, everything to tell you that you wasn't important or you wouldn't ever make it to be anything. You still proved everybody wrong, and you are successful. You have 2 degrees, right? Am I right about it?
Yeah,
Like
don't nickname that, big sis. Three. It's,
3. Okay.
it's three and
Name
three
that.
quarters. It's three and
Okay,
three quarters. It's
blame
almost
that on your honey bun,
yeah,
because she sent me your little details. She
that's
said
my
2.
that's my
So
second.
bless God for 3. Now that's even more powerful.
It's three.
For
It's 3 and 3 quarters.
3 3/4. So for a man who has the history that you have, running the streets, doing what you were doing, ended up incarcerated, came out. Yeah, you did a little bit. You ain't get 3 and 3 1/3 in penitentiary. You came out and accomplished all that.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to appear, because of the fact that you are a living testimony of what can, if you just keep going, what all you can achieve. And I have family in I have family members that they have been in penitentiary. They have criminal records, maybe not in the system, but they have judgments against them. But the fact that no matter what you do or say, that you keep pushing and never stop, because you can accomplish everything that you ever dreamed of. And
Absolutely.
you are a happily married man. You have a full house of kids. You have a beautiful wife. You are on tour for your book and for everything else that you are involved in.
Yes,
So
yes,
you are a living testimony that it can happen. It's
absolutely.
just you having the fortitude, the energy to not quit on yourself, because that's the only person that you're hurting is yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here's the part. Here's the part. You guys are gonna love this part. While I was at the prison system, a friend of mine who was like my mentor, Rashid Salahuddin, he's my guy. His guy, man.
Hmm. Hmm.
He's my guy because he pulled me in. He's the guy who I've been on his I've been following his footsteps. Vietnam vet, war hero. I mean, real guy, old enough to be my dad. Okay, my mentor, my go-to guy, Rashid Salahuddin. May Allah preserve him. I mean, he's my guy. I followed his footsteps. I followed his footsteps. He pulled me into the prison, and from the prison to education, community college in Philadelphia. When I came to community college, first day I came to community college in Philadelphia, he gave me a job. He gave me a job working with the Center for Male Engagement. But
Hmm.
it was a couple, this and that. And I said, okay, well, I don't really need to work because I'm gonna be doing a whole lot of other stuff, but I can volunteer and I can help out and I can do as much because I didn't know if it was for me or not. Center for Male Engagement. Center for Male Engagement, Community College in Philadelphia. Another one. Another monumental episode of my life, man, that helped change my life. Community college showed me something. They allowed me to get straight A's.
Wow.
Semester after semester after semester. after semester, and I'm being blown away like, yo, Mom, would you look at this? You know what she gonna say? I told you. I tried
Exactly. She always seen
to tell
moms.
you. I
Moms always see your potential.
graduated. You could. You gotta hear that, sir. You could have been did this.
Exactly. I tell my son the same thing. I'm his number one rah-rah girl. I'm his number one pusher to make sure he knows that he is capable because I've seen it since his birth.
Right.
So it's just him acknowledging it. He's trying to get his own business off the ground. He's trying to be successful. So one of the things that, like you were saying, is that you got to just keep pushing and make it happen. No one's going, unfortunately, we are not the culture that people offer things to. We're not the ones that get that all the time. So we have to have that energy.
Some people looking for handouts.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't the cheese line. Cheese line don't exist no more. Mm-hmm. This ain't that line no more. Okay? And if they giving it out to us, imagine what's in it. Imagine what if they giving it out. So free ain't me. Okay? Mm-hmm. Unless it has some quality and some value connected to it. Mm-hmm. I don't just want stuff because they passing it out. That's not who I am no more.
Right.
Pride, it ain't looking down on. It's some stuff they giving out after being a social worker. It's based on the research.
Mm-hmm.
They putting it out there as a research. Huh? It's a research for the community. And they want to see how many people's bodies respond, because it's a research. The patent ain't even complete on that. The merchandise that they're giving out for free. It ain't even complete yet. Mm-hmm. But we in line. Sucking it up. No, everything ain't free. Everything that's free ain't me. Okay? Just because it's free don't mean it's me. I'm not signing up for it. Okay? I like to work for mine. I like to earn mine. I like
because it's value in that. It's value in that.
That's
your sweat and tears.
That's what the penitentiary teach. See what the people get at penitentiary, a black eye. But it's men. It's real men walking around those facilities. Real men. Men that can run this country. Men that can run community. People say, well, how they get in there? You don't know what happens to you once you enter.
But don't make that your goal. Don't make that your goal.
No. We're talking about once you're in there.
In there. Mm-hmm.
It becomes either a playground or a college or institution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you come in, you either going to be a part of the playground, Ringling Brothers Barnum and Belly Circus, you're going to be down with the clowns, or you're going to be a scholar, a student. You're going to be an individual with value, an individual with meaning, an individual with substance, an individual that's going to be responsible. And you see these guys. I got a 1,000-man team. I got 1,000 guys on my team. It's 1,000 of us that do the same thing I do. I'm not alone. I got a crew. I got a whole squad. Okay, from my crew, you could say it's goons in my squad. You could say it's this kind of people. It's all kind of people in my, and they all doing the same thing. They made a commitment to themselves that what? I'm not going back to jail.
Right.
I'm not going back to jail.
And it's important on who you surround yourself with.
Yes.
Like you cannot. One of my mentors says it all the time. You cannot be the smartest person in your circle.
No.
That means you the dumbest person in the circle. Because you need people around you that's all moving forward. Even like this podcast, this came birthed from all those around me who I watched doing great and mighty things. And you're not going to leave me behind. I'm not going to stop. And that's the thing. It's all about who you connect yourself with. Because who you connect yourself with. And one time, the Lord literally, we were doing an exercise, close your eyes and just listen to the Lord and see what he's saying to you. And I was with DC Marshall at one of her I can't think of the words right now, but it's a little, we go away, we go to the mountaintop. And it's about working on ourselves. And the Lord had me open my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I looked at her feet. And I knew he wasn't talking about her shoes. It was like, watch the steps she's making, because this is where I'm trying to take you. So
No.
she's definitely, absolutely, she's definitely doing major things. She's a major woman. She does awesome things in her community, in her connections. She builds men and women. She has a mighty prayer ministry called Girlfriends Pray that I'm a part of as well. But the circle that you're in is always positive, and we're always running to be better. If you're not, don't have those type of people around you, like how you just explained about your circle, that all of y'all are go-getters, all of y'all are trying to accomplish things. If you are not connected to that person or those type of people, you're in the wrong group. And if
Absolutely.
you by yourself, you're in the wrong group.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my journey continues with community college. Community college led me to this group called Pipeline for Promise. Pipeline
Mm,
for Promise is a nonprofit organization that was put together through the University of Pennsylvania. So one day, it's time for graduation, and one of my mentors, Dr. Abdulhakim, hear what I said? One of my mentors, he's a doctor. I got a lot of
absolutely.
doctors, commissioners, people that run the show. Those is my go-to guys. Dr. Turjan said, "What are you doing?" He said, "What are you doing for the summer?" So I said, "I'm going to Disney World." My wife taking me to Disney World. He said, "Disney? No, you're not. You're going to Penn." I said, "What?" He said, "You're going to Penn. We have a program set up. I want you to be a part of this program. Okay? I need you to get interviewed. We'll put you on the phone with somebody real quick. I want you to say all the right things, and we want to make sure you get an interview. We want to put you in this program." So I'm like, what I'm going to say to my wife? So I had to say it to my wife in a nice way, like, "Boy, I'm not going to Disney World with you.
Right, 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 right.
I'm going to the University of Pennsylvania, okay, for this program." She said, "You going to the school?" "No, I ain't going to the school. I'm going for this program, Pipeline for Promise. I mean, I'm getting a paid education, man." She said, "Huh?" I said, "Yeah, this is what I'm signing up for. No, nobody can stop me on this one. My mind's made up. I'm on." So I went on. I been part of the program. Lo and behold, all I wanted was a 2-year degree. All I wanted was an associate's.
Associates.
That's all I wanted was an associate's degree. Teach drug and alcohol. Teach people how to get off drug. That's all I wanted. Not after sitting at a table at Penn. Not after sitting at a desk at Penn. So I wanted to go. I wanted to further my education from my associates and get a bachelor's because they had this program at Drexel University, a behavioral health program. Now, behavioral health is a program that helps identify with individuals that have behavior issues, right? So I wanted to
Mm,
specialize in that because that was my specialty. Looking at a guy and seeing right through it.
mm-hmm.
I can see, my man, listen. First of all, you're lying. Okay. that's first and foremost. I mean, you need to stop that first. You need to be truthful with yourself because you're not going to win lying. It's no future in lying.
Correct.
And I was able to look at people and talk to people and identify with the good and the bad and then help them move forward. Behavioral health specialist.
Mm,
Drexel University had one of the best behavioral health specialist schools in the country.
mm.
I wanted to go to Drexel. So I went from a 2-year and said I wanted to be part of this 4-year university. I wanted to go to Drexel. Drexel profiled me.
Wow, really?
Drexel University profiled me, right? And real tears came down my eyes. So when I signed up for Drexel, Drexel told me no. They said, here's why. I had a what? I had a previous conviction from incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I can't come to your school because I did something how many years ago? I work in a such and such and such and such. I do this, I do that, but I still don't qualify. And then I come to find out, I look and do the research. A lot of African Americans, individuals who had spent time incarcerated, all of them were also told no. A few
Mm,
weeks later, on Drexel campus, after an examination, after examining and investigating the premises, they found a lab a drug lab on the
Oh.
premises. A drug lab on the premises, meaning individuals were selling drugs on campus. Okay, what was the color? White folks. So you're
Mm.
stopping blacks from coming in, but you're letting the whites sell their stuff.
Mm.
So I said, that's exposure. God just exposed them. He just exposed because you stop letting us come in,
Right, right, right.
but you let them come and look what they doing. So I said, I ain't gonna cry over no spilled milk, but I cried some real tears. So I kept going and I said, let me let me keep on trying to get into another university. Let me get into something I like. So I wasn't interested in University of Pennsylvania to go there as a student. I just wanted to be a part of that program.
Mm-hmm.
I signed up for the University of Pennsylvania bachelor's program. And when Drexel told me no, that school, 1 block away, told me yes.
Mm.
I could put the icing on the cake and just go home from here.
Right, right.
University of Pennsylvania. Drexel University, University of Pennsylvania. Number 6 in the country, Ivy League. Didn't know nothing about that Ivy League stuff. Didn't know nothing, didn't have a clue. I said, Mom, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And last night, I'm driving past Presbyterian Hospital. I said, Mom, where was I born at? She said, Pennsylvania General Hospital. I said, I wasn't born at University of Pennsylvania because my story, it's just making it more intriguing for my next book. She said, no, we was on our way to Penn, but I couldn't make it.
Mm.
She said, I couldn't make it. We had to go to Philadelphia General. I was born on New Year's Day. Okay, so imagine what's going on. What's going on? I ruined my mother's New Year's Eve, whatever party she was going to.
Don't feel bad. I ruined my mom's Easter, so it's okay.
So yeah, we never made it. But I was like, oh, I was born in University of Penn. I was born for this. This is in my DNA. So University of Penn said yes. And then after I graduated with my bachelor's in sociology, I said, I'm gonna take another shot.
Mm.
I like this place. I like how these people treating me. I had to go out and go out and get my wardrobe right. I had to go out and get my wardrobe. I said, boo, I'm on the campus. I'm on the campus of the Ivy Leaguers. I got to put it on. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing my thing. It's swagger. And this ain't swagger like that. This is that level of confidence that was created.
That's what I wanted to pull
God
out.
continually telling me
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over and over. God giving me this after that, after that, after that, after that, over and over and over.
And self-confidence
That's the
is,
point I want to express.
yeah, self-confidence is major. And all you need is that one yes to get you there. And even until you get it, you keep pressing. Because like even for me, like my son, he was bashful growing up and things like that. But when he went to an all boys school, he went to boys Latin, and he got to see, and all of the teachers when they first started were all men. So he got to see real men and how they, because it was just me and him. He was my road dog. So he got to see men and be around other boys that really shaped who he was. So when we talk about circles, you got to be in the right circle. And I'm sure it wasn't just you encouraging yourself. It was those that were around you. You had mighty men of valor around you to help motivate you and keep you on your grind, because you're not just one. And I'm sure even your beautiful wife, she was consistently pushing and supporting you, because no one can walk alone. No one can walk alone.
Listen, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. I'm in the library at the University of Pennsylvania. Remember, our school does not close for its students.
Mm-hmm.
Our library stays open to 12 o'clock, right? The upstairs part. The downstairs does not close. If you're in research mode, so sometimes I was coming in 3, 4 in the morning doing research. trying to get it done. Because, yeah, I was in there and I was like, I'm in uncharted waters here. I'm looking around all these, everybody in this room smart. You don't just go to Penn because you're smart.
Right, right.
It's other characteristics, it's other qualities that they search for. Okay. But when you get there, you're going to realize everybody here is smart. So being smart is not special. Being smart, not special here. It's other qualities that take you above and beyond. Intelligence, intellect, wisdom, take you above and beyond. And when I was walking around, I was shook first. I was shook at first. Because every time I used to look around, wasn't nobody that looked like me. And I ain't just talking about regular old black people. I'm talking about people from the hood like me. People from West Philly, people from North Philly, people from South Philly, people from Uptown. Wasn't none of them there with me? They might let us in once every what? Every 3 or 4 years? And the school is what? Right here in Philadelphia. But I look around, my peers, my colleagues. How many gonna relate to me? So I had to learn to get in. I had to learn to get in where I fit in. I had to learn to communicate. I had to learn to understand what page these people are on.
Mm-hmm.
What page do I need to be on? So I always reached out to God. I always reached out to him for what? That help, that support. He put me where I needed to be. He helped me understand what I needed to understand. He kept pushing me forward. He kept pushing me forward. He kept pushing me forward. Non-stop action.
Right.
And I
Because
love
the fact is, without God, you can't make it.
without
That's just the facts. That's just the facts. You
without
without God, you can't make it.
a doubt.
He puts you in the places that he needs you to be. You're not working by your own strength. It's only by God. It's only by God you got connected. It's only by God that someone whispered in your ear, like, "Yo, dude, I need you to participate in this. Don't go to Disney World. I need you to be here to get involved in this." So it's only by God that you encounter those people, and also he gives you the intelligence to take advantage of it, not allow an opportunity for growth to pass you by. And that's what our young people need to really get in their minds, is that you can't allow opportunities to slip through your fingers. You can't allow just doing your same thing over and over that always failed for you to get a grip of you, to miss out on the opportunity that can take you to that next level.
Absolutely. He humbled me.
Mm-hmm.
He humbled me. I was in classes sometimes where the people would say to me, you need to really think about why you're here. You need to ask yourself if you really belong here. Yeah, they called me out. I was called out. I was called out, you know, and I attended this one class called Intimate Partner Violence. Just think about it. Black man in the class, only black man in the class, only male in the class, all women. Intimate partner violence. This is a domestic violence class. I'm in that class. What's the first thing come to your mind?
Why are you there?
Be real, be real, be real. Don't you?
That's what first came. Like, how did you get in there? That's my thought, is how did you get in that class? That was the first thought.
I'm an abuser, right?
Yeah, that didn't come to my mind. But why? Like, it was a mistake. That's what came to my mind.
Right. So the whole time I'm being profiled. My teacher being profiled. Whole time she don't know I'm suffering. She don't know I'm going through it. Why? Because I watched my mother be abused by my father growing up.
Wow.
So I said, I need to learn this skill. I need to learn how to help stop this type of violence in our communities.
And more men need to take that class, to be honest.
So I had that on my resume.
Happy
day, intimate partner violence, also known as domestic violence. I had that knowledge. I had that skill set. I was acquiring a whole lot of skill sets, taking on a whole lot of skill sets while I was at the University of Pennsylvania, and adding them to my resume, adding them to my skill set. Why? Because I need every tool when I'm out there in the field. I need every tool when I'm out there in the field,
especially as a social worker.
So I went to Take Back the Night. Take Back the Night is what? Women who were what? Sexually abused. They walk around the whole school, sit down, and they all start giving out testimonies.
Mm.
I wanted to stand. I just wanted, because I seen the students from my class, and I wanted to stand and explain to them why I'm here. I'm here because of what? What happened to my mother?
Mm.
When I was what? 5, 6 years old. When I couldn't do a thing to help her. When I couldn't do a thing to protect her. When I couldn't do a thing to help my mother. Yes. I wanted to be a part of this skill set. I wanted to learn.
And that's an important thing, because you need to learn how to impact the world, how to change, especially the negative behaviors that occur in our communities because of a lack of resources, a lack of education, a lack of positive influence.
So,
So I think that was a key thing in your growth of learning, even for yourself, but for other people.
but here's the part. Here's the part. The whole time the professor was profiling me, the whole time the professor was trying to make it hard on me, so much so that she gave me a bad grade. She gave me a bad grade in that class. What you think I did? Remember, I'm still from the streets. I'm not taking an L.
Mm-hmm.
Voiced my opinion, CC'd it, sent it out. Before it was all said and done, that grade got changed from a bad grade to a good grade.
Mm-hmm.
Because I contested it and I said, no, you're not doing this to me. I don't know what's inside you. I don't know what's making you tick. I don't know why you feel the way you feel. I don't even know why you profiling me the way you're doing.
Right.
But guess what? I'm not taking an L, not for this. My class, one of my classes, $10,000. One class, this University of Penn.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
ain't community college. One of
And
my
I think even if it was community college, you have to learn how to stand up for yourself.
absolutely, but and that's where
You
I learned that. That's where I
Yeah,
learned
you have to
that was my
stand up for
training.
yourself.
CCP was my training ground. I love my CCP professors. They taught me, they educated, and they said, if you go to CCP, you can attend any university in America and be good at it and be successful at any university here in America.
I'm glad you said that, because sometimes community college of Philadelphia get a bad rap,
No,
because they think
no.
it's a community college. And I want to go to a university or one of those Ivy League or the big name things. But there is substance and there is growth in community college.
Absolutely. If you want to know if you're college ready and you really, really ready to step inside the water of college, go to community. Community is going to expose you. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
let you know if you're ready for it. It's going to let you know if you're not. It's going to let you know if you're ready for the Ivy Leagues. It's going to let you know if you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But community college is what? It's the platform for success. It's a platform for success. You go there, sky's the limit. So,
And it's an opportunity, even if you can't, because some people can't afford the whole kick and caboodle. But you know
yeah,
what? You can take a class.
yes, you can.
You can
Yes,
take a class, take a
yeah,
course. You don't
yeah.
have to go through everything all at once. And I'm not going to share your age, but it never is a limit and it never stops. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? You have some gray in your beard, so that shows that you're a distinguished man and you've been here for a minute. You shared back in the 60s. So there is never an end point.
Still got the chalk in my bed. I didn't wipe it out. was writing on the chalkboard. It must have got over.
The dust fell. The dust fell.
It's still there. But let me share this. I went back to after I graduated with my bachelor's degree. I went back again, and I was accepted into the Masters of Social Work program at the University of Pennsylvania. Masters of Social Work program is an extremely premier program when it comes to social work. Social work, sometimes it gets a bad name. Social work gets a bad name.
Mm.
But I tell people all the time, you're going to need me before I'm going to need you.
That's the
You're going to need a
truth.
social worker before we need a police officer, before we need a janitor, before we need a biologist, before we need a car salesman. Every last one of them are going to have to come see us one way or another.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Our skill set. Huh? We can examine the teacher, but the teacher can't examine us.
Right, right.
And we can teach her class 4, but she can't do what we do. This skill set, because of the fact that it's not based in a science, that's what changes our pay.
Right, right, right,
It's
right.
not a science. Our pay is not up there where the psychologist is at, because it's not considered as a science.
Right, right, right.
It's social work. So they said it's really nothing. Psychologists got to come see us too. They got to come see us too.
And it's a very needed process. I work in healthcare, and we could not function without our social work department, our care management.
It's always work for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's always work for us. Okay, wherever you go, it's always work. Look at our city right now. Look at our city right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to utilize us in the right way. They don't want to utilize social workers the way they need to be utilized.
Right.
Agents of change. Agents of change. That master's level, oh, that's a scary level too.
Mm-hmm.
I tell a person, if you want to just go after it, man, just go. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Go after it. Put your trust in God. Put your work in. Go after it.
Right, right, right. And you're a living testimony of it.
I made it through the master's program. I have one more stop on the journey. We all know what that is.
Right, your doctrine.
That's the PhD.
Yep.
That's the PhD. That's where I'm going to relax at. And here's the funny part. Me and my wife was in a master's program at the same time. Our goal was to come out of the master's program and go right into the PhD program. Guess who's in the PhD program at this time?
I know, your wife. She don't stop.
And I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, like, whatever he gives you, take it. If he don't give it to you, don't get upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for you.
Right,
But
right.
if he give it to you, act like a track star. Act like Jesse Owens. Run with it. Wear it, huh?
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
She wearing it well. She
Mm-hmm.
wearing it well. I can't take nothing from her. I
Right.
can't be mad, sad. I can't be nothing but, hey, Team Muhammad. She's on Team Muhammad. She said, listen, she on my team. She on my team. High five.
Right. So
Yes.
we have a few minutes before we come to a close, but I just wanted to really thank you because I know someone is encouraged by your story, by your testimony, the information that you share, some of which I posted in the comments. I've seen that you made a comment about your website, so I put that in the comments as well. So as for a final thought,
Are there any questions? Are there any questions in the comments?
there was no questions tonight. It's just really there was no questions, but you know what? If something comes up after, because a lot of times for various reasons, the live, I'm not super live just yet. I'm on my way, but there's always a huge replay. So if anyone has questions, and I've been trying to capture the nuggets and throw it in the comments section, and I shared the link with Malika for the YouTube. So if you want to check and see if there's any questions, so know people that he is willing to answer your questions. willing to even offer mentor as giving you guidance on what your steps should be. He's a phenomenal man, married to a phenomenal woman, and they both are about building their kingdom. Also, when it comes even from the family, they are really adamant about their family. They have a strong family of scholars, I may add. And it is a blessing to hear just the success stories. You know, a lot of times you hear so much failure, especially I don't even watch the news today because of those reasons.
Lies,
But it is
lies, lies,
exactly, and it's too
lies,
much of it. Like
lies.
people say, like I was at an event this weekend and someone mentioned, oh, I was scared to come over to Philly. I was like, it ain't as bad as you think. You know what I'm saying? It ain't as bad as you
Yeah,
think.
the media do us dirty. The media is doing.
Right, exactly,
I wanted to
exactly.
share this. I wanted to share this, and
Hmm.
this is for everyone out there. I was going to send her an invoice. My wife said to me, "This is my girl." I said, "Okay, she get a pass. It's pro bono, you know. It's pro bono, you know." But I
I
was going to.
appreciate you.
I said, "No, boy, I got the charge. Huh? I got the charge. You just starting up." Then I thought about it. I said, "Nope, not a dime, not a dime."
Bless the Lord, because I'm up and coming.
If
Maybe a year from now, I can take on some
Yeah,
invoices.
yeah. And hopefully you interviewing individuals like myself and other people that's going
Yes.
to be interviewed as time go on. I mean, it's going to help, raise you up, and give you the success that you need in moving forward. I always tell a person, keep it short and keep it simple. Keep it
Hmm.
short, keep it simple. The law of averages. The more interviews you do, the more opportunities you have at being
Exactly.
successful and being a what? A podcast entrepreneur,
Exactly. Exactly.
all that, the whole nine.
Yes. I got encouragement today that one of my really good girlfriends who have been following me, she would give me feedback. I love her to death, Carolyn, or love her to life. She said to me, she said, Kim, you know what? I You have always had interesting topics. Not one of your topics have not been drawing in people. And that's what really is my goal,
Yeah, yeah,
is to empower, to encourage, to expound our knowledge of what can be done and what is possible. And that's all I want to do. I want to apply information for people, because some people don't know the things that we know, and they
absolutely,
need to get informed. Like nobody don't know, not a lot of people outside of who you've already touched. Now you're touching a whole separate community by connecting with me, of your story and the success. And if you keep the drive, if you keep wanting it, and if you take the opportunities and, like you said, and run with it, when the God opens that door, there is nothing that can stop you, and you can't get discouraged by the no. You can only be encouraged by it, because if one person say no, the next one will say yes. Eventually, you're gonna get a yes.
absolutely. And again, guys, I want to promote my site, thepenfiles.org, thepenfiles.org, thepenfiles.org. On that site, it's about engaging. Whoever wants to engage, whoever's having family problems and concern of people that's incarcerated and stuff like that, they just want to talk, come to my page, leave a remark, leave whatever you need to leave. Take a book with you. Okay, my books are for sale. They're on my website. You can review. You go to Amazon and check out some of the reviews and stuff like that. I recognize if you get it from my site, I'm going to autograph it for you. We'll put your name on it. Let me know what name you want on it. I'm going to send it back to you. Okay. But if you get it from Amazon, it's not going to come with a signature. But if you get it from my site, from thepenfiles.org, you will receive my signature, my autograph copy. I thank everyone who attended today. Kim, you family and me all day, every day. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. We need a lot more that's going on. We are our own
Absolutely.
resources. We are our own resources. We have everybody that can be impactful, but effective inside our community, in our communities.
Absolutely.
Everything that
Absolutely.
we need that's in our communities, we have it right there. We just need to utilize it.
Absolutely. And that's the one thing. Before I even determine anything when it comes to my podcast, I promised myself I would get to 100 episodes.
Okay.
And for me, I even at the beginning of the year, I told somebody I have enough in my circle to fill up this year. And
Okay.
that's all I've been doing is people I know who has been gracious enough to honor me with their presence and to share their experience, because that's all it really is. It's just a casual conversation about our own personal experience and stories so that we can impact the world. And that's all I want to do. So I do thank you, sir, so very much for coming, for sharing. And don't forget to check out his website, thepenfile.org. I have it in the comments, and I will be, after the episode, I will definitely post it to the top so you don't even have to scroll through comments to find it. So thank you, my good sir, for sharing to this evening. And that's it from Let's Just Talk with Kim. Remember, we're here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we definitely enjoy your presence. And so until next week,
Thank you for
have a
having me.
wonderful evening. Bye.